Hey there, friends. It's Bartender Ben here for the Rose Hour
Hi.
podcast. I'm with this one.
And we're outside.
We're outside.
We outside.
Yes, it's
Cheers.
outside. How about that?
And happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
I think we're here. I think VR is here already. Oh, yes. We're going to bring her in the room. Uh-oh. So we are already bringing in our guest today.
Ooh, it looks dark.
Uh-oh. Can you see us?
I can see you guys good, but my picture looks super dark.
Well, step into the light.
I know. Let me see. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, we want to see. You queen.
Looks like we're getting a little more light.
There's no reason for you to be in the dark anymore.
Yeah, but when we turn this way, all that light is like in the camera. So can you see me now?
Yes, we can see you now.
Can you see me now?
Hello, VR. How are you?
I've got my glass.
Yay! Cheers.
So I'm going to give my disclaimer now. We're outside. We're still celebrating Veterans Day, so you never know what might jump off in the DFW area. So we just hope everything stays just like it is.
That's right. That's right. Well, safety is paramount. Well, boy, tell everybody who you are and what you represent, because she is so amazing, and I'm just so thankful to have met you. And I know Bartender is excited too. A veteran, and y'all about to just be best friends now.
Hey, we always say we Uber for the Marines, so we got you. I can barely hear you guys.
Oh no! Okay, let's see. Can you hear us? Turn your volume up. Can you turn your volume?
All the way. It's up all the way.
Okay. We're gonna pull you in closer.
See, now I can hear you really good.
Yeah, we have you a little bit far away. We'll pull in
Are you
closer.
guys next to a fireplace? Now I'm really jealous. Am I seeing flames in the background there?
Yeah, we're outside.
Now I'm really super jealous. That's so cool. We have no flames over here.
Oh, well, we had to come outside, you know. It's that time of day. We're celebrating Veterans Day, so we came outside to celebrate.
It's been an awesome day, man. I really had a good time.
Yes, yes. Okay, well, tell everybody who you are and your organization.
Oh, wow. We're talking business and drinking? All right, well.
Yes, yes, always.
All right. So, hey, guys, I am VR Small. I'm the founder and CEO for the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center. It is a national initiative that we launched here in Southern Dallas to empower entrepreneur women associated with the military, first and foremost, our veterans, but also active duty, reservists, and military spouse. To scale for success. I am a Navy veteran, go Navy, and an Army brat, but of course we love all our branches, and of course we support them all. What else do you want to know?
As you said, you guys are Uber for the Marines. I think a lot of people know that. Because I didn't know until he told me that. Because I thought...
Did he really?
I had no clue what the Marines, like, I thought they were their own branch until you told me.
They are. You know what? That's just fun talk. That's just fun talk. This is us messing with each other.
Yeah.
We're really not Uber for the Marines, but it kind of feels like it because we take them everywhere they have to go. That's just fun talk. That's just us having fun with each other.
Yeah. But like to like a civilian, I thought like they had their own everything. I thought every branch had everything on their own. I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, and so, you know, I'm a civilian. I didn't know. And
Come on, Ben. You haven't educated her. What's up? What you doing over there?
Oh, well,
You haven't brought her up to speed?
had the education.
yes,
But
now I know.
She said, our conversation.
And you got all this military family, Renee. How could you not know these things?
Listen, I grew up at Great Lakes in the Navy, you know, Navy base training center. I don't know how I don't know.
I love that answer. I don't know how I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know, but I don't know. So, no, but like, we're excited to have you here, you know, especially on Veterans Day. Your story yourself, like, as a woman veteran, both of you are Black veterans, right? Like, your experiences, I think, especially on a day like today, people don't think of Black or Black women or women, you know, of color as veterans. Like, you see the photos and it's always like a white guy, an older white guy saluting. You don't see the images of you guys. So, like, would love to know, like, how does that make you feel? Like, you know,
normally we get a lot of that, and it often happens on Veterans Day, which is one of the reasons why I was a real supporter of Women's Veterans Day. But I have to say, honestly, today we've gone to a lot of different locations, and people haven't really asked us for ID. You know, no one's really been harassing us about the experience the way it normally is. And people haven't questioned us being veterans. They just kind of accepted, oh, okay, these are female veterans, just like there's male veterans. But normally, you got to show ID. They're looking it all up and down. And you'll be in line just behind some guys that came and said they were veterans. And immediately they said, thank you for your service. And they just went on through. And then when we say we're veterans, like, oh, do you have your ID? And we kind of like pause, like, wait a minute. You didn't just ask that guy for his ID. So I have to admit, today, of all days, really we haven't been hassled the way we're normally hassled. So I think people are starting to get the message, and that's a good thing. That narrative is changing, that veterans are not just of one race or one gender, but veterans run the span.
That's good. That's good. Now,
yeah,
and like, so you're both into the small business space. You know, what do you guys think about like veteran small business, and like, is it a fad? Is it like something that's new? Like, what do you guys think about this whole veteran small business world?
Well,
I'll ask you since you answered, and then we'll come to VR because I know you got a whole bunch happening too with the space.
I mean, veterans is where you're going to get the largest population of people who have actually accomplished things, seen things in the end. You know, we do things on our own. We're independent folks. We're leaders. So when we get out of the military service, it only feels fitting to start your own, you know, entrepreneurial journey. Like, why not? You have all the tools that you need to be successful, you know. When you come out of the military, I went straight into, like, recording engineering and, you know, developing studios. It was like, it was in me to just be a leader at that point and bring something to fruition. So that's where I, like, you know, veteran and their experience, like, well, if I can do that, I definitely own the business. I've done this, I can definitely do this. Like, you know, there's no fear in stepping out and doing things. I don't know if you share that same sentiment, but, you know.
So I'm going to say, I'm not hearing Benjamin as well. I'm not hearing you as well. So I may regurgitate some of what you said because I couldn't hear everything you said, but I didn't want to interrupt you because it seemed like you had a nice rhythm going there. But I'm not hearing Benjamin for some reason.
I think, in short, I'm just saying we have to get loose. We've been prepared in the military to be fearless and do things that most people would cringe and kind of shy away from. So
yeah, so like you guys are natural leaders and are naturally able to execute. You've been trained to lead and get things done. So when you get out, you naturally are willing to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I'm going to take it one step further for women because we're trained to be equal with our brothers in arms. And so that ability to command, that ability to develop a team, to be in charge, to get the mission done, to plan, that's not always what you see from women in the civilian world. And sometimes when veteran women come out and they enter into the civilian world, we get a lot of negative. You can be perceived as aggressive. You can be perceived as, you know, a little forceful, maybe taking the lead too often. When other people don't pick up the ball, we just kind of pick it up and run with it. And a lot of those things can be perceived as negative. And so some women who may not be progressing in the corporate or whatever environment they are in will choose to do, let me start my own business. Let me create my own environment, a place where I can run things, I can decide the culture, and where these negative things aren't put on me, but they're found to be positives. Because in the business world, you're going to have to be forceful. You're going to have a little bit of aggression. You're going to have to really be confident about who you are and what you're bringing to the table, whether it's a product or a service. And so people expect that of business owners. They expect you to come with that level of confidence. And it's different than being in kind of a corporate environment where that expectation may not be what people expect or want from a woman. And that's one of the reasons why we're still talking about all of this equality and inclusion, because those same characteristics in a man are 100% golden. Oh, he's a leader. Oh, he's forceful. Oh, he takes charge. And that's all positive. And when a woman does those same things, all of a sudden it's dumbed down and it's a negative. And so we have to get away from that and realize that those characteristics are things that if we like them in one gender, then we should like them in another. Yeah. If it's appropriate in one gender, it's appropriate in another. Yeah, and so you find a lot of women, I have to tell you, I know quite a few women veterans, particularly African American, who came out of the military as officers and could not get a job equal to what they should have been getting, had to be underemployed. And so it's not always respected what you've done, even when you were an officer, even when you had that leadership role and the officer, you know, title to go with it. We found people in HR and technology and other industries that couldn't get a hit, couldn't get a job, and end up having to take something else that really wasn't at their level in order to pay for it and take care of their family. And we're not going to sit around and cry. We're going to do what we got to do. So you don't get what you want, you're going to get what you can get, because you are going to do what? You're going to achieve the mission. And if the mission is take care of my family, take care of me, that's what you're going to do. And you're going to do whatever you have to do that. But at some point you look in the mirror and you say, wait a minute, I know I can do better. And entrepreneurship for a lot of women is that I can do better because I can set the pace and I can work as hard as I want to really get what I need. And no one else is deciding my level of pay or my level of achievement. I'm making those decisions for myself. It's not an easy road. Money's not just falling from the sky, but it is one that you can determine the direction for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And with that, it just seems like the fireplace just went out, so we need to turn it back on. But you know that with veterans, and especially those of color, right? We see entrepreneurship is like the only way to go, right? Because when going into the work environment, into what you were saying, you know, whether honestly male, female, you know, those qualities are seen as threatening, right? You're too.
Yes.
But you know, it seems like for those who are former, you know, military and are veterans, and they make that transition, it's like people want to always be like, thank you for your service, but they're not like, how do I help you adapt to the work life and the culture of this environment? Because it's completely different, right?
It is
time sensitive, and the things that are time sensitive are ridiculous. Like an email with like semicolons is now like hands on fire, when literally you guys are like dealing with things like life and death, you know? Like, I can only imagine, it's mind-boggling, right? Yeah, like, and so my next question for both of you, and you know, you can answer first, and then you can answer too. And I'm sorry I'm yelling. That's probably what we have to do so you can hear us.
Because I can hear you good, Renee, but then Benjamin, I can't always hear you. So I don't want to like repeat things you said. That's why I prerequisite by saying I really couldn't hear you.
But my next thing is like, what could be done for veterans to transition right? Like better out of service into civilian life, like back into civilian life. Because I
So
that's
so
one
I
of the hardest things. Even if you're becoming an entrepreneur, like that transition period, like what is it like, and what can be improved upon?
one thing I think they need to start earlier, and that's kind of on the part of the veteran. If you know that you're getting ready to get out, you don't want to wait till 6 months in to start trying to figure out what you're going to do next. If you know I'm a one-term veteran, or you know you're getting toward the end of your retirement, that last term should be planning. You should be trying to evaluate companies. Who's out there that fits what I am like, the kind of person I'm at. Now with technology, you can have meetings with people on LinkedIn. You can connect with people on Facebook that are in these companies. Most of these companies now have military programs. So you can connect with the military programs and see, hey, what are you offering? What does that look like? What are the salaries like? Do I have to transition and move around a lot? Or can I be in one place? You can start getting a feel for that immediately. Don't wait till that 1 year, because sometimes it can take people 3 to 6 months to find a job in the real world, in the civilian world. So if you just now started, you haven't started. You're behind the game. So working on your resume, pulling together all your references. I know when I got out, I had wrote my references, pushed them out to everybody. You know, I was all ready. And then I found out, whoa, a lot of the stuff I was doing, I wasn't supposed to be doing, but they let me do it. But they weren't going to sign their name to it. So when I gave them my references, it was like, we can't sign that. And I was like, why not? I was like, well, because you really wasn't supposed to be doing that. I was like, but I did. And we went round and round in circles. And by the end of the day, it was like they would not sign off what I really did, because I did things above my pay grade. But they let me do it. So you want to start that process early, because say you are doing something that you shouldn't be doing. You know, then what if people don't sign off on that? Then what other references are you going to get? What other projects can you do that people can sign off on, so you get full credit for all of the things that you've done in the military, particularly if those things are going to guide you on that next path. So a lot of veterans don't even know what they want to do. That's why I'm saying don't wait till that 1 year. Start thinking now. I'm getting out. I'm retiring. What do I want to do? Do I want a business? Do I want to work for a company? Do I want to teach? What do I want to do? Do I want to be a stay-at-home mom? I mean, I don't know what your situation is, or dad, but what do you want to do? And then when you figure out what you want to do, what's the path to doing that? Who are the people I need to connect with? Because unfortunately, America is really about who you know. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. And it's a dangerous path, because this whole thing we say that people do business with people they know and they like. Yeah, I need to know you, Renee. I need to know you're confident. I need to know you know what you're doing. I need to know that we have some of the same characteristics and beliefs so that we work well together. But I don't have to like you. That is very high school, mean girl. And to me, it perpetrates all of those stereotypes and biases and cliques that eliminate us as women and as minorities from the table. So it's not about like, but it is in America. So until you actually own the team, you can't change the game. And so right now, we're just players. And so you got to play the game the way the rules are already laid out for you. So it is who you know. So you need to start getting to know those right people and building your social capital as much as you can.
Wow, that's real. What do you think? Because I know you made the, you know, you told your story, and it was hard to make that transition.
Yeah, I just think that when I agree that we should start planning, 6 to 8 months before your EAS date, definitely. But also in TAPS and TIMS classes, that week, it's a week of courses, you take right before you get out. They show you how to file for unemployment, all that type of stuff. That's when, these veteran organizations can come to these TAPS and TIMS classes and tell veterans about their options. Tell them information about, organizations that they can be a part of once they EAS, once they get out of the military. I know for me, I tell Renee a story, like when I got out of the military, like stories I hear about slaves really even, slavery. I didn't know what to do. I got off, I got out of the military. It was that first night. I went home, like, yeah, I'm out. The next day, I called, I didn't call right at, 07. I called around like 9 something, 09:45. I'm like, y'all sure you don't need me to come in? I'm like, no, sorry, you out. You know, do whatever you want. I was like, sure. You know, I still got my stuff. You know, I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think during that transitional period, if there are more organizations that are assisting veterans in that transition from being a veteran to coming back into civilian life. Because even, you know, I got on 08. It's 2021.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with issues of transition from, you know, military service into civilian life. Now, I'm still dealing with that. I deal with issues at work. Because the way our relations is not how the normal populace thinks about handling things. So a lot of times you're put in a situation where you're like, well, you always feel like the outball, you know, the oddball or the outsider, you know what I mean? And I think at those task and courses, that's the opportunity to really test the veteran before they go into civilian life and help them with the transition. So, hey, this is things you're going to face. Here's some, you know, resources to help you. Here's, you know, all these things that you can leverage to make your transition better for you. And you know, that's my take on it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's where you're at, Ben, because like here in Texas, there are so many different programs to support veterans, and many of them collaborate and talk and share information. And so veterans really get a lot of different, you know, you can go here, you can go there, you can do this, you can do that. All of those resources are really available to them. You may be in a location, an area where resources are a little bit disjointed. And what we need to do is make sure that nationally, everybody is getting that same information and can get those same kind of connections and relationships, because some states, some cities do better than others. So I know in Texas here, if veterans want it, it's there for the getting. I think one of the problems may be just making sure you can make that connection. So if you run out and you don't tell anybody you're a veteran, you're not going to make a connection because no one's gonna turn you that way. But as soon as I arrived here and I said I was a veteran, it was like I was encircled by people. You need to go here, you need to go there, you need to do that. It was just crazy. And I was like, whoa. Matter of fact, I found out about programs in New York when I got to Texas that I never heard of in New York.
Right, and you're fortunate in Texas where, you know, it's a state where veterans are covenant, for lack of better words. They don't give a damn. They don't care. You know, some of us hate that we went to war because of their feelings about veterans and all that.
It's so progressive. Like, everyone's like, oh, thank you for your service. The Pentagon's here. We appreciate you.
You have to say it's an obligation. You know, if you don't say it, you look kind of like a piece of crap. You know? But what I was saying is we should go to these TAPS and TEMP courses while these military members are active duty as they're transitioning. You know,
exactly.
You know, go there because you're able to talk to them as they're getting. You say, hey, look, once you get out, after this week of you going through these courses, call this number. XYZ organization is here to help you with XYZ resources. You know, they give you this packet of TAPS and TEMPs. These types of organizations, need to come on the basis and need to talk to Marines. I mean, need to talk to, you know, veterans or active members at that point before they become veterans to let them know what they're going to face on the other side.
Well, Ben, a lot of it's changed. When I was a part of the Bush Institute in 2019, we had a chance to meet some of the executives out of DC that are a part of TAPS, and they've really changed that program. They've extended it to a year now. They've got all of these skill path organizations that are working with them to do training programs. I think there are at least 6-month training programs if your commanding officer lets you go. And this is why you're still active duty. I believe they need to go even deeper beyond that year because I know how long it takes for you to get an opportunity. And so what if I do 6 months with Microsoft? What if at the end of that 6 months, I realize Microsoft isn't for me? Then I'm back to starting gate. So you got to kind of figure out, yes, that 6 months is great. It gives you some acclimation to the civilian world, but it doesn't guarantee you an opportunity that you're going to stay in. Because what if you don't like Microsoft? What if that culture is not a good fit for you? What if where they want you to go is not where your family wants to go? There's a lot of things that can play into that opportunity, playing out into a successful, full-time, long-term position. So there's still more things that need to go into that and thinking that through. But they've made a lot of the changes you're talking about. They've made them. They've extended that time in, and it's going into while you're still active duty. They're getting people connected to these different resources, national and local, if they know where you're going. But those resources are there, and just like the VBOX, the Veteran Business Outreach Center, their whole mission is to go on base and teach veterans while they're still active duty. What if you want to start a business? These are the things you need to do. These are the people you need to connect with. Now, they offer services in the general population, but their mission is to tap into that active duty population, to go on those bases and make sure that they have the resources that they need, and they understand, if I want to go into business, here's what I need to do, and here are the people that I can connect with. And so it needs to happen on that civilian side if you're looking for a job too. And I can't tell you as much about that process because it's not a process that I deal with. But I can tell you that I know since 2019, they've been making changes in TAPS. And from what I've heard from different people, they're positive changes. But I couldn't tell you the whole script because, again, we don't play in employment. We play in entrepreneurship space.
Right.
Well, and to that end, right? So we talked about, like, those who are getting out currently. You know, you talked about your experience, and we're hearing there's some changes. But for those who, unfortunately, those changes didn't happen for, you know, in time. So the people like Ben who've been impacted, like what are those resources that now they can have, right? Because I think that there's the stopgap that occurred, right? Where from whatever point that those changes occurred to when those changes weren't there. And there are these veterans who are in need. They don't have a lot of resources in their community. They don't know where to go. What are some opportunities that they can reach out to, or find some support, or connect, or get some assistance, you know, to become entrepreneurs, or find ways to connect with other veterans that are successful business owners?
So let me talk about the larger ecosystem that goes beyond the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center. So you have organizations like Bunker Labs that's opening up city sites. So they're in different cities supporting veterans, working with WeWork to give veterans 6 months in residence. And doing those programs, they provide them training, they provide them networking opportunities. And from what I understand, some of those networking opportunities come across the nation. So you're not just meeting with people in your city, but you're also meeting with people across the nation. And under that umbrella of Bunker Labs, they have a number of different programs. So I would say visit their website, see what their offerings are, and if any of those offerings are relevant to you. You also have IMVS, which is Syracuse Institute for Military Veterans and Families and Veterans. They have a number of different programs, and they are just that, programs, EDGE, and I can't really name them all, but they are designed to help businesses kind of get back on point. Some of them are designed for pivoting when we went through 2020. Others are just designed for structural development, and they have some specifically for women, and then they have some that are for all veterans. So that's another group you can look at. Also, we have now Combined Arms in Texas, and I know they're spreading, but they bring all of these different veteran resources together, and they share resources. So say you're a veteran, you just got out, you need housing, okay? You don't know if you want to go into entrepreneurship or you want to pursue a degree. They can basically, when you put in your information and do intake, they will basically refer you to vetted organizations, which means you just can't sign up with Combined Arms because you want to. You send them your information. They literally vet your organization to make sure that you're legitimate and that you do the things that you say you do. And I know organizations like that are beginning to spread across the nation. But this particular program and grant is in Texas. So you want to, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to start looking at these different organizations. Like we have the Texas Veterans Commission Entrepreneur Program. Is there a Veterans Commission in your state? And then what is that commission doing? Because the Veteran Commission doesn't just have an entrepreneur program, they have homeless programs. They have programs that help you file for your benefits. They have programs that help you with housing. So when you see those commissions, you got to dig deeper and say, okay, what programs are available that I could benefit from as a veteran? So those are the bigger players in the entrepreneur space. And then you have PenFed. PenFed Foundation has done a number of different programs for both women, men, and specifically for minorities. But you got to be in that loop. So you want to start getting yourself in that veteran networking loop. What are these different veteran organizations? What are these different veteran networks? Are you following them? Are you connected to them? So then when these different opportunities present themselves, you can take advantage of them. It's still a little, sporadic, and everybody's kind of in their own corner, but more and more, everybody's coming together and realizing that no one organization, not mine or any of those, can effectively serve the enormous veteran community that we have out there that are looking to do entrepreneurship. And so the more we work together, the more we'll fill gaps, the more we'll eliminate duplication, and we'll be able to do more whatever funding we receive individually and collectively. So that is a movement in the ecosystem, and I hope that movement continues. But right now, it's a matter of tapping in, like putting in veteran entrepreneurship. And there are a lot of little programs. When I was in the Bush Institute, one of the young ladies said that there was 2,000 different programs offering entrepreneurship. Now, I haven't heard of 100 of them personally, but I was told that's how many that are out there. So there's a lot of little pockets. So you may find pockets, like a university in your area may have a veteran program. A nonprofit in your area may have gotten funding for a veteran program. So there's all these little pockets that are not all jointed together to make a bigger community, but it's something that we're all working toward. So you really want to start, do your Google search, put your Google in there, look for veteran entrepreneurship, and start seeing what pops up, what opportunities are available in your community. Because unfortunately, unlike the military, it's not all tied together. You just can't go to headquarters and say, dude, can you tell me where I can go get this? And somebody goes, yeah, you go right over here, and so can help you. The civilian world does not work like that, unfortunately. It's disjointed in many ways, and you got to kind of pull it all together. But we know how to do that. We know how to find resources, tap into them, pull them together so we can get what we need. So they're out there, but they're not all visible.
Yeah.
And they're not all readily available, because even with us, we run our programs based on funding. So this year I may have X, but if I don't get funded for it next year, I won't have it. And that's another thing that we talk to our funders about, is that if you want us to be sustainable and you want us to be able to grow and scale, then you got to be consistent in funding. And so you may find that too, that last year they had it, but this year when you call them, they don't have it. And a lot of that would be dependent upon them being able to get consistent, sustainable funding.
Yeah, and that's another thing that, like VR and I were talking about earlier today, was like, there's some people who got community navigator money, right? Which is to actually assist people with small, resources and financing, and how to get access to capital, maneuver, sort of like the small business world. And unfortunately, there
Renee, you're breaking up.
Uh-oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. It was just a funding. How everyone's not tied together. You got to Google everyone, unfortunately, to figure out who got it, who did it, where did it go. Because if you need resources, you get a lawyer to help you figure out how to.
Say it again.
I said you shouldn't have to find a lawyer to get access.
I think I'm getting like a thing here on the internet because we're kind of breaking up a little bit. Can you let them know we're on the thing, please?
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Renee. What are you right up on your mic? Can you hear me now?
Right here. I am right here. All right. So, it's the
Can you guys hear me? Are we breaking up, or is it just on your end?
It's on our end. Apparently, people
Okay.
the wind, but that's okay because we're wrapping up anyway now. So
Okay.
But this has been fun, and how can people follow you?
Say it again.
How can people follow you?
You can follow us at veteranwomensec.org. That's veteranwomensec.org, or at Veteran Women SEC. And that's also our email, which is info@veteranwomensec. And that's our email is info@veteranwomenscc. So all of our stuff is at veteranwomenscc.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing some time with us this Veterans Day. I hope you get
Thank you for having me. Sorry about the internet stuff, but you guys have a great time. We'll keep drinking wine and saluting our veterans.
right.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.